What's going on today, folks? I hope you're all doing really good. Jake here, Sunday morning. We're going to do a fret job on the classical here. So I think what we'll do first is just kind of go over the basics of how we got to this point. So I did a video on the fret removal, if you guys want to check that out. And I did some cleanup on the fretboard. It was actually cupped, especially back here where the body joint meets and so forth in that direction. Had a lot of cupping, so we took care of that. I think I documented that as well. So I ordered some fret wire. This is where I get mine, from this guy on eBay. He ships it instantly. Never been burned or hung up once. Very good outfit. I'm not endorsed by him, but again, just a good all-around place to get it. So anyway, you can see the widths. It gives you all the layout, the crown width, height, tang width, and it also gives you the the barb width. Here we go. Okay, so you can see they're different. You got 24 thousandths tang width. With the barb, it's 37 thousandths. Okay, so anyway, I took a piece of fret wire out of the package and tried it in the slot. You know, after I had cleaned out the bits of glue and stuff that was still in there after I removed the frets. So it was really tight, and it would have been too tight to pound them in that way. The frets that were in it before, the tang width and barb width, were a lot narrower. I did measure them, but I've thrown them away since, so it's just a moot point at this point. So anyway, what I did was this. I took my calipers and I measured them. They tell you right on the package what it is, so it's pretty easy to figure that out. Now, the fret slots were really tight. So, what I do, I took a razor saw at first. Okay, this is just an X-Acto razor saw. Very lightly, and I mean lightly, I just kind of drug that through there to see if I could feel any more bits of glue. I'm not cutting anything or anything like that. See, there was a little spot there. This is just to make sure that there's no big, bumps and globs of glue down in there, because what will happen is this. When you pound your frets in there, if there's still glue, out on the ends or even in the middle, no matter where it is, you won't be able to drive it down sometimes, and that can become really frustrating. So anyway, I cleaned them all out, and again, the fret wire was just a little bit too tight. So I had to open this up. Now, the X-Acto blade's 10 thousandths. It's just good to know in general. So what I did was this. I took a hacksaw blade, just a regular hacksaw blade, okay? You can see that's about, well, give or take, when I get it pinched in the right spot, it's about, there you go, maybe 26 thousandths roughly, okay? It's a standard hacksaw blade. Now, with the barb width, it's, 37 thousandths. So still, that's still pretty tight, but 10 thousandths roughly, okay, is what we're talking about. So what I did, prior to this operation right here, what I'm going to show you, I guess I don't have my little file right now, but I took a small triangle file, okay, and lightly chamfer the edges of the fret slot, okay? And that just helps when you pound the fret in. If it's too tight, you'll blow the wood out on each side of the fret slot. So it's good to take a, just a small triangle file and just break the edges on each one lightly, okay? Then I took this hacksaw blade, which I think I'm just going to make a tool. I'm going to cut one of these off and put a handle on it or something. So again, I mean, this is quite tight to go in there, but I just pull it backwards. Hacksaw blade's got an arrow right on it, tells you which direction, okay, to put it in your saw. So I just pull it backwards really lightly. And I mean, I'm not trying to go to the bottom of the fret slot here. I'm just trying to open this up a little bit more, okay? Now, some of you guys may disagree with what I'm doing. That's okay. There's other videos if you want to, go watch those. That's cool. But anyway, this is my method. It works every time. I've done it, I don't know how many times now. Probably too many. Anyway, so once that's done, you get them opened back up. And again, I may chamfer the edge just one more time with a 3-corner file before I get going. So anyway, I think we're pretty much ready to go. What I've done also, before you get going, take a piece of fret wire and start right out on the edge and just push it down in there and see if it's going to be too tight, or if you want a little bit raised up underneath the crown, because you want the barbs to do their job and hook into the walls of the wood and the fret slots. So that looks pretty good right there to me. So I think we're going to get started here, and we'll knock these in. All right, here we go. All right, here we go. So I'm using PC glue on this. I took a piece of shrink tube, just kind of shrunk it onto the thing, and then hit it with a lighter and flattened it out just to kind of narrow things down, and hopefully it won't make a big mess. So there we go. We'll start with that one. And you want to get a nice cloth all ready to go so you can clean this stuff up and wipe it down as you go. All right, so here we go. I'm just going to kind of run that over there for now. Again, this cleans up really easy. So now what you can do here is you can cheat the fret wire to one side, so you don't necessarily have to clip that side off if you do it right. So, but you want to make sure you've got enough sticking out, because sometimes the actual tang will be, when it gets cut, is kind of shorter, or it's on an angle, and if you've got it in too far, you're going to have a pocket, so to speak, and if the tang's recessed in there, it's not a big deal. You can fill them with super glue, but it's nice just to get everything kind of symmetrical as you go. Okay, let's get going. I guess I could have told you to turn your volume down if you got it cranked up. So let's just take a quick look at this. Boy, that looks really good to me. Okay, so I usually go right across them like 5 hits now. You can see the squeeze out come out as I hit that too. Now that tells you that baby is in there deep as it'll go. So you want to see a little bit of squeeze out when you do this. Again, just take a damp cloth as you go and just clean it as you go, and you should be good. Okay, so again, like I said, just take a damp cloth and, just kind of wipe that stuff off, and that'll save you a lot of headache in the end. Okay, so let's put another one in. I got to get another piece of fret wire out. I actually need to cut this thing open so I can get it all out. There we go. Okay, so again, what I'll do is I'll set it to one side, like we did with this one, and I like to leave these hanging out, and I don't cut them off until the next day after the glue's all dried. And that's just my method. Some people will do it as they're actually installing them, but once they're pounded in there and drove in, I don't like to disturb it, because sometimes when you cut in the ends, you can move stuff, you know. And sometimes what will happen is, as you clip it off, you'll pull the fret up, or it'll pop the other end up, and then the glue dries, and not good. Okay, so usually give her 5 wraps across there, something like that. And looks like we got some pretty good squeeze out there. Now what we're going to do is hit that one more time to see if any more glue comes out. A little bit on the end, as you can see, not a ton. So, and you can't see the back side, but I got a nice line of glue all the way across. Looking pretty good here. I got a little bit of glue right there. I just want to get rid of that. Okay. So, you know, it's the same procedure from here out, but, you know, just take your time as you do it. Make sure everything's cleaned out right, and make sure that the fret slot is not too tight. Because what can happen is, if it's too tight, it has to go somewhere, and eventually, come on, glue, you'll actually put back bow in the neck from doing it. And when that happens, if there's no truss rod in the guitar, there's no turning back. You know what I mean? So you want to make sure that they go in there snug, but not so tight that it's going to warp the fretboard. I've come close a few times doing that, so it can happen. All right. While the glue is still down in the thing, this glue runs a little slow, so I'm gonna hit 2. We'll do 2 at a time here for a little bit and see how that goes. And I'll try to change the camera angle here in a minute too for you. Again, I'm leaving a little bit stuck out on the end here, because I want to make sure the tang goes all the way across and out to the edge of the fretboard. For looks more than anything, but also I just want to make sure you get as much of the tang and barbs in the slot as you can. That's important. Okay, here we go. Oh, that one kind of laid down on me. You got to watch that too. Don't drive them in crooked. That'll be a big chip out when you do that. Okay, let's clean them up, and we'll give them another round of taps, and be looking pretty good here. Hope you guys are all doing good. What's everybody doing on the big solar eclipse tomorrow? Actually, Maine is going to be hopping tomorrow. They're talking like thousands and tens of thousands of people showing up here to see it. So okay, so you can see a little bit more glue kind of come out on the edges, and that's what you want to see. And then you know that that is absolutely flat to the board, okay? I got just enough sticking out there where I really won't have to nip them. I'll just file them off, and we'll be in good shape. You know, I'm just going to wipe down on the edges here too, so I don't have big gobs of glue kind of hanging up in the along the outer edge of the fretboard. Okay, let's try this angle for you guys for a minute. I'll try not to be in the way too much if I can help it. And I just got to get things set up a little different here. Okay. So, again, it's just the same old process every time. Really, all the work is in the prep work, to be honest with you. And you need to put that work in, though, because if you don't, it's just not going to end well for you. I can assure you of that. All right, so I'm just going to put them in one at a time here, and that way they don't bounce out on me. You know what I mean? When we're swinging the hammer. Okay, here we go. This actually goes pretty quick. I'm doing this extremely slow here. Normally I would probably hit, 5 or 6 at a time and just wallop them in there. And but again, it's not a race. Take your time so you don't make any mistakes. Even after you do 30, 40 guitars or something, you still have to follow the same rules no matter what. Alright. I just want to make sure I got glue out on the edge of this too, because that's where it's usually prone to lifting, is out on the edges, as you guys know. Makes your guitar feel like a saw blade. Alright. We had a partial eclipse or something there a few years ago. I remember I took a bunch of pictures of that. I taped a Weldon lens to my cell phone and did it. I think I shot a few videos too. I'll have to look them up. I'll probably do the same. I got an amazing view where I live, so... I got some glasses too, the little cardboard glasses everybody's selling. Thought about maybe just, cutting one of the lenses out of it and putting that on my cell phone. That might work all right. I'll be okay as long as I, just close one eye, the one that I take out, and I can still use them, right? All right. Okay, here we go. Let's get some more in there. The stuff. I should have tipped the bottle upside down last night so it would get down there. It's really slow. This is good stuff. I can't remember where I bought this. At a hardware store somewhere. It's really good stuff. Multi-purpose. It hits good. It's about like Tight Bond, It's nothing. It's not like some kind of specialty glue. This is it. PC Universal. I've used this many times doing fret work. Tight Bond's good. A lot of guys will use, thin super glue as they do it, or just go back after and run a line of thin super glue. I don't like the cleanup from it. It's kind of a pain. I personally would rather go with something like this, fish glue. Tight Bond works good, like I said, just the regular stuff. You don't need the Tight Bond 2, anything like that. Okay, so as we go on here, the fretboard is getting wider, so you really have to start paying attention on these classicals, because there's not a lot of wiggle room here on the fret wire. Hopefully it's long enough to make the whole run. It said classical on the listing, so I figured it would be cut long enough, you know. Should work. This guy seems to know what he's doing, so. Like I said, I've never been burned or hung up or had to wait for anything. It's always been really good transactions with these people. So, Bitterroot Guitars. Thanks again, folks. I appreciate the fast shipping and everything. I mean, they've never messed up any orders either, which is great. So that's what you need, folks. Somebody you can depend on and trust, I guess, in this day and age. It's getting harder and harder to do, but all right. Boy, these are getting close. I think we'll be all right, though. You got to remember when you drive these in that they're crowned, so they're going to grow as you pound them. So if you're cutting them ahead of time and whatnot, just keep that in mind, you know. They will grow a little bit if you get them crowned right. So, okay, I think we're pretty good right there. These are getting really close. I will say that. I think they're going to be long enough, but which is nice if they're just right. That saves me from a lot of handwork up here with the file. It's the hardest thing about refrets is working over the soundboard on a guitar at the top, you know. It's just easy to make mistakes and, you know, dig into the finish. So I really got to pay attention on this one and the rest of them. Okay, and I'm just doing it by feel. I can feel what's poking out. Okay, so let's clean that up and see what we got here. Before we get too far, I got a little glue on the guitar. We want to get that off. I wanted to mention, too, this is a 1970 Pennco guitar. Really low serial number, and it's a really nice sounding instrument. The Pennsylvania Guitar Company, supposedly this is around 1970, I think. Okay, we're going to just go back over these. Just see if any more glue comes out along the edges, which a little bit did. So I'm kind of being ginger up here as I go because you know, we're over the fretboard here, a fretboard extension, and you don't want to break the braces underneath here or anything, so you got to be really careful about that. Hold on a sec. Okay, folks, well, apologize for the camera angles and stuff. This is really hard to do on camera sometimes, but, you know, you get the gist of it. That's all that counts. The most important thing was the stuff I was talking about in the beginning of the video about your slots, measurements, and that kind of stuff. Make sure you do that right. That's really, really important. Okay, so we're just going to knock the rest of them right in here. Apologize for the hand in front of the camera. Again, these are really close to being almost too short. But when we pound them in there, they flatten out just enough. That's cutting her close, though. Holy. Okay. Like, you know, if they're a hair short, then it is what it is. I'll just put a drop of super glue in the end and do what we have to do, guys. I guess that is a downfall, buying pre-cut fret wire. Sometimes you may want to cut it yourself, but this has all worked out quite well. I mean, I wouldn't dare go any shorter, but alright, I'm just trying to tap that over a little bit. I really can't have anything sticking out here. Again, I'm not really wailing on those too hard because I don't want to break any of the braces in it. So, all right, last one. Okay, let's wipe them down. You know the drill. I'm going to hit them again and see if any glue comes out. And if it doesn't, then we're good to go. Again, just take your time when you do this. Don't be in a big race. And, you know, it's not that tough. You just got to get set up properly. And once you do that, that's, you know, really the hardest part is the prep work, the setup, all that. Okay, here we go. Okay, I think we're pretty good here, guys. You know, I'd rather taper these frets off with a file than try to drive them, you know, underground. But them seated pretty good. I can see a little bit under this one, so you can put something, you know, inside to shore the guitar up. There's a brace right there, so just keep that in mind. Okay, I think we're good to go. You know, if they're not... Yeah, those look good. I mean, you know, just make sure they're down as good as you can. But don't destroy the guitar doing it. Okay. I've hit them hard enough, so they are down. You know, if there's one that's kind of raised up a little bit, I'd rather file it off than glue the braces back in the guitar. That's kind of the point I'm getting at here. So that can happen. I mean, keep that in mind. So there you have it, folks. And, you know, we cleaned up the glue kind of as we went, which is nice. You know, you can see the finished end down here. It's not finished, but that's... not a lot of cleanup to do now, see? You know, without using super glue. Nothing against super glue. I use it myself, especially if I'm just pressing a high fret down. I'll put it in the drill press with one of those dies and push right down on it. Run a bead of super glue beside it, and you're good to go. Okay, so we're looking pretty good. I did leave these partial frets in. I didn't pull them, so not a big deal there. I don't want to be pounding those in if I can help it. You could squeeze them in with some, you know, vice grips or something, maybe too, but it was just as easy to leave them. You're never going to play up there. At least I'm not going to, so anyway, folks, there you have it. Thanks for checking this out. I hope this helps you guys. You know, get the right tools. Make sure you get a fret hammer and get the right wire. Like I said, just make sure you do your homework before you order the stuff. You know, you can do that by just pulling one piece of fret wire out, measuring it, and that's it before you order. You can buy these digital calipers at like Harbor Freight or online for $10 or less. you know, a hacksaw blade, the razor saw that was, you know, 10 or 15 bucks. Not a big expense here. So, anyway, I do hope this helps you guys. Good luck with your fretwork. And I've got more videos of this. If you guys want to go into my playlist, I have videos on fret jobs, guitar repairs, guitar demos, amp demos, guitar lessons. There's all kinds of stuff. Over 400 videos. So feel free to check those out if you want. Like and subscribe if you want to. And we'll see you guys real soon. Be good. Okie doke.